the local media, this is the one thing that I'm asking everybody to do. For the next 6 months, for the next 25 weeks, in 25 weeks we will be on budget day. For every local paper, for every week, if we had a story, that would make an enormous difference to the profile of the arts, because all politics is local. And if we can link our impacts, if we can talk a little bit more coherently about the impact of our work and get that recurring message in the local media every week, it will make a huge difference. We're doing an economic impact study, a very modest one, working largely on secondary data, but we will have a questionnaire going to people very shortly. I'd ask you to fill that in. That's what we're asking you to do in terms of the jobs. But finally, I want to say, Ian McHugh said this morning that we need to, well, she didn't use this way, he said, talk about intellectual assets. We want to sweat the intellectual assets in the arts sector. Dreadful phrase, but it's often used by management gurus. And I've spoken about our messages. They're pretty crude. They're pretty reductive, you could say. We don't want them to be reductive. The arts have many and diverse values, and indeed Tim Crouch at the very beginning, who gave me the idea to do this walking around thing, I thought he was he said, we can't always be too literal when we're communicating our messages. And people do, you know, when we're telling our stories, people, we have to understand, we have to accept that people do understand representation, symbol and metaphor. And when Charlie was talking, he said, you can get a complex message across in a very simple way if you really think it out. And that's where we really want to get input from today's session, but also from the art sector and also individual creative people more broadly. And that's why our ad campaign is about something that's not quite so obvious. In the Arts Council, we do believe that the arts have value in 3 ways. They have an intrinsic value, they're symbol systems, they make meaning, they're unique and they can't be replaced by anything else. They have social and cultural value. They bond communities and express common artistic and creative impulses, and at the same time, they mark the distinctiveness between peoples. Philip King, our council member, is very good on this, and he's spoken about it at length. And thirdly, last, and indeed least, they have economic value. They can be traded, they have ancillary financial benefits, and they have currency. And it is last, it is final. It is a final value in the list and chain of values. But if you were to ask those guys in Jones's Road 12 years ago whether the GAA was just about the peace process and community, they would say no. The GAA is about skill, teamwork, athleticism, it's about tribalism, it's about the body beautiful and the culture haircut embodied in one person. It's about the roar of the crowd, it's about the sweep of disappointed faces going up Jones's Road every day for 37 years if you're from Wexford. It's about all that. It's about all that. But they talked about that plan and they said, we won't care if we only talk about the peace process and communities. What we care about is positioning ourselves as central to the national agenda, and in the arts I think we have to do the same. Thank you.
That's leadership, and Mary, we are proud of what you said there, and may that be continued on the campaign trail over the next 6 months. Thank you very much.